Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. 5 teams will be eliminated from Major 4 tonight, but 4 grand finalists have so far their season successfully progressed yesterday all the way through to Saturday, but there was some controversy during the OpTic vs Boston series, especially on the aBeZy Search and Destroy. Dashy talks about the sniper rifle Bance decided to use, and whether we'll see more or less of it, or whether it should be GA'd from now to the rest of the weekend. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. I wanted to mention this first of all, I thought it was a nice little chart. Now, first of all, the numbers don't actually add up here, because if there was roughly 70,000 viewers in this AMA number, and we'll talk about what AMA is in a second because I still don't fully understand it, but I mean, okay, so apparently we've gone for majors from last year to this year, averaging 70,000 whatever to 175,000. This plus number should be something like 151, but so I don't exactly know what's happened here with the numbers, but regardless, right, it's very clear that from this year compared to last year, the viewership has more than doubled, right? The return to Twitch has obviously massively helped, the costumes have massively helped, the early season start, many factors at play, and it's really cool to see. Now, AMA technically, I believe, stands for average minute audience in this term, which is, I believe, a metric to show how many viewers are there in an average minute during the broadcast type thing. I think that's what they're getting at here. So I guess these numbers might actually add up in that sense from an average perspective, so probably might be correct. But yeah, just look at the gap, baby. Like, it is good to see Vanguard be put in the mud in more ways than one here. Also, iLLeY, a tweet that he made before the matches began yesterday. Good luck to all the teams and players competing this week. Nothing like competing on that stage. Many of you guys were atting me in this one, and for good reason. Obviously, he uses the hourglass, let me get it right, emoji. And there's 2 hourglass emojis. There's one where, like, most of the sand is at the top, and then it's kind of moving to the bottom. And there's one like this, which is, I think this is the one that people normally use. But it is, people are like, oh, is he using this one specifically just because the sand's almost at the bottom, right? So he's almost returning type thing. But yeah, I don't know. I doubt that iLLeY comes back from now to the end of the year. There might be some teams that actually could benefit from iLLeY, but whether it happens seems unlikely. It's more likely it's going to be next season where iLLeY comes back, and we'll see where he goes down the line. He's obviously getting some trials ready to go in the off season, but iLLeY's been kind of foraying more and more into return over the last few weeks, so it's probably going to happen soon. Let's talk FaZe versus Surgeon last night, then the series we didn't cover yesterday. In game 1, Slasher started out having a bit of a hard time. In fairness, he didn't have a good amount of heal time at this point, but Surge won game 1, and I thought, okay, here we go again, and already I saw about 10 Reddit threads, drop Slasher, it's time to go, and all this stuff, and I was like, look, just give it a second here, because FaZe on LAN, we know that they're a different beast anyway, and game 2, they won the Search and Destroy, and then game 3, this was where they really came to play, I thought, on this map 3 LSELO. Now, part of this series was Surge playing poorly. Accuracy and Mack, they couldn't keep up their level they'd done online. That's the thing with this team, like, you rely so heavily. I mean, Sib went like 33 and 18 game 1. He had a great series, great map 1, but down the line, Accuracy and Mack, if they get fries, as sometimes they are prone to, the team can, just completely collapse. But honestly, I think FaZe deserve a lot of credit here for their performance. You know what you're getting from Cell, you know what you're getting from aBeZy. It's whether you get, what you get from Simp, and whether Slasher can actually slay a little bit. All you need is Slasher to drop a 1.0, and this team is fine, especially on LAN, because Simp might be the play right now that gets the biggest LAN buff, to be honest. Like, whenever you watch Simp's POV, he's always cooking, you know what I mean? I feel like you never tune into like a Simp on board and he's missing shots. He's always frying, but the numbers aren't always there. But in fairness, I think his KD so far this season on LAN is something like 1.06, like or 1.05. Like, it's a good KD. Like, he's not been getting fried as people suggest. In game 3, he really turned up. This almost felt like the FaZe of old, right? Simp frying on a control, like that's happened a few times in COD history before. And then game 4, Pred started out well, but it was Slash who had a pretty good map here, and aBeZy. This is potentially going to be key to their turnaround, actually, because FaZe have been rather doing well on this Hydro hardpoint, map mode combination lately. They destroyed Rokkr on it the other day when aBeZy went 38 and 12. So, it does seem like a good map for them right now, and it might be crucial to their hardpoint turnaround. They're still not perfect in hardpoint for sure, but if Slasher can get some heal time and just get a decent amount of kills, they'll be fine. And we know that Slasher on LAN anyway is a force to be reckoned with, at least the majority of the time. But look, he needed to play a lot better than he was online, and look, I mean, aBeZy got this crazy 3-piece right here, and that pretty much, as soon as that happened, I thought, okay, this series is done and dusted. So this is very impressive by FaZe. I know that many are expecting them to come in here and get cooked, and look, they might still finish top 6. It's doubtful, but it possibly can happen. But I think that this is a showing that they are, significantly better than they showed online. The 3-2 online COD records, I think it misaligns perceptions of what FaZe you can expect from them when it comes down to a a LAN setting. And Slasher was talking about how he was feeling unwell during the online period. He came in here and this is a pretty hard photo actually as well after the series win. And obviously Simp and Co on the left-hand side not looking so good after their defeat. So Seattle Surge go down to losers. They can make a run, but you know, it's a pretty big deal because Seattle looks good online. They come in here and lose like this. If they have a pretty bad run here, they and Pred, I'm sure, are going to be very frustrated with the situation. Slasher also was given his comment after the game. I've proved everything with 10 years. I've done it all. I've won it all. Kind of talking to the haters that have been talking down on him lately. But look, it's only one series. They've still got more to do, but the overall numbers were not pretty for the Seattle Surge. And Slasher ends up with a 1.15, and I cannot wait for FaZe versus Thieves on Saturday because these two teams are playing right next to each other. We know the drama between Slasher and some other guys on that team and the Thieves guys in the past. For them to play across the stage in such an important winner semi-final game, winner gets top 3 at the tourney, is just fantastic stuff. So I can't wait for that one in a couple of days' time. That's going to be a banger. So FaZe advanced, of course. New York Subliners advanced. Thieves went through as well. And OpTic Texas managed to take down Boston to claim that final spot. But there was a bit of controversy around this series, especially in the Search and Destroy, the Embassy Search and Destroy. I was a bit surprised, first of all, that OpTic actually decided to play it just because Boston are very good at that map. Typically, it's a sniper haven, which makes sense for Dashy to want to play. But Bean's also one of the best snipers in the league on the other side of things. OpTic Texas also kind of entertaining, really. iLLeY tweeted this after the first round game they played against Boston, right, all the way back at Major 3. And since this tweet, OpTic Texas are now 11-1, and they continue their streak. It was cool after the fact as well to see the guys jump on Scump's watch party straight away, but many thoughts were given here, but during and even after the series, especially from Dashy on the sniper rifle situation, right? Dashy got a collateral in this game too, but the rest of the game, Beans was probably getting marginally the better with his Signal 50 sniper. This is not really something we've seen in competitive before, and rather than a bolt action, it's more of like a semi-auto sniper, kind of like what the Barrett 50 cal was back in the day. Now, I don't believe it's been in the game for that long. I don't think it's brand new at all, but I think it's been in the game quite a while, and Beans has decided that's going to be his go-to sniper going forwards. Dashy was a little bit kind of caught off guard, as was the entire OpTic team, when they heard it firing out bullet after bullet across the map, which you can't do with the regular bolt action they like to use. So, you know, there was a bit of controversy.
I don't know. I got nothing right now. I got nothing.
Bro, dude, talk about the sniper, bro.
Yo.
Dude.
Yo, how is that other sniper? Like, how is this allowed, bro? This guy's
bro, I watched kill cam. Boom, boom, boom. I was like,
I didn't even get one shot off. I was sitting there like, I'm tweaking, bro. This guy is FALing me across the map.
I was like, what the?
I actually just want to come on stream and say that.
That's it?
Yo, good games, guys. Listen, what's up, chat? Listen, but like, nah, deadass. So, like, I don't know if we could, like, this sniper is making us tweak. Like,
dude, I was like, bro, when I heard boom, 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 I was like, what?
I watched the kill cam. I was actually like, what?
Bro, I didn't even know.
Bro, I was like, is this some insane variant that he bought on the store? You know what I mean? But I was like, nah, bro, this shit's different. I'm seeing Signal 50. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's got a ray.
Do you even know the sniper we're talking about?
Yeah,
the
Signal
50.
Yeah.
Wait, who is your biggest competition at the event? Don't give me the obvious answer.
Don't give you the obvious answer?
Well, I think it is the problem is the obvious
It
answer.
is
The obvious answer. Yeah,
It's,
go ahead.
it's OpTic. Yeah.
It's OpTic?
We
So-
scrim them and like they're good.
How do scrims go like between the both of y'all? Is it splitting maps? Because usually like when you're the best team in the game, I mean, you felt it.
Yeah.
I feel like even in scrims, sometimes it's hard to like just straight up slam people.
Yeah.
Is it like splitting maps?
Sometimes it's splitting maps. Honestly, recently they've gotten the best of us, but like they've been in incredible form. And
it really was only that search and destroy where the questions are there. I'm sure like OpTic will come out of this series quite happy, as will JP, because this wasn't a dominating series performance from the OpTic Texas guys, but it's usually what happens for great teams in the first round. It's very rare that you turn up to the first round and absolutely smoke the opposition. There's certainly a good team like Boston that can actually slay with the best of them. Obviously, JP gives a lot of credit to Dashy. Got to discuss the search and destroy. But what do you guys think about this sniper rifle in particular, right? The Signal 50. I know there was a lot of talk about it kind of being equivalent to the Volk in some senses, right? Because Volk last year in Vanguard, it came in. We saw the likes of, Sparta, of course, use it to great effect on LA Guerrillas at Major 2 last season, and then it was GA'd shortly after the fact. It's kind of like even back in the day in COD 4, you'd have the M40A4 or you'd have the Barrett 50 cal, right? And it kind of be your choice what you use. Do you use the very powerful high recoil semi-auto one, or do you use the bolt action Legend one, which is maybe a little bit sexier, but maybe isn't quite as good, or is it just straight up personal preference, right? The same story in Modern Warfare 2. You've got the Invention, you've got the Barrett 50 cal. Those were the debates going on. So the Signal 50 is here in this game, and no pro really decided to use it. Of course, at the start of this season, as there always has been lately, all the pros are like, oh, we've got to ban the snipers, they're too strong and all this. Turns out they're really not too strong, and you only see one of them per map anyway. But now, at the time when they decided that, they were like, all right, we'll get rid of the attachments on the snipers, and this is the one you're allowed to use. And now it turns out Beans has brought a new one into the party that isn't GA'd. It's not like the pros have said you're not allowed to use it. But I think OpTic were kind of caught off guard that he was using it, and might think, well, is this actually too strong? Because yes, Dashy got the collateral early on, but Beans was having some impact down the line with it. I think, to be honest, Beans would be good with the sniper no matter what one he pulled out, but there was a debate as whether this should be allowed or whether it shouldn't, and we might see more of it for the rest of the weekend. We might even see Dashy move over to it if he feels like it's actually the way to go for the rest of the weekends. Also, OpTic, of course, at dinner last night, thankfully, Shotzzy was not doing any cooking, because if that was the case, they could be in trouble for the rest of the weekends, as we saw a few days ago now. And also, OpTic Texas are on the verge of matching or potentially breaking the hardpoint win streak. We saw yesterday they've got to 10 hardpoint wins in a row. They play Subliners on Saturday. They could, well, that series should really go 4 or 5, I think. So they've got a couple of chances to potentially even break the record on that series. But the record is held jointly by Huntsman in Modern Warfare 2019 with 11 in a row, FaZe in Cold War with 11, and even Subliners in Cold War early on with Hydra also with 11. So Texas are now at 10. They will need to do 2 more or just 1 more to tie and potentially surpass the records in a couple of days' time. So quite remarkable. They're right up there now. And also Vegas play today. First match of the day. They need a big bounce back here, man. It's not looking good for them. That series yesterday against New York. Clay says we go again tomorrow. And, you know, there was people talking about Donny Temp's bad series. And he says, look, that's only 3 maps. We're going to make it work today. And they most certainly need to. So these are the 5 games of the day. Actually, before we look at this in detail, let's just have a look at the bracket the way it currently is shaping out, because this bracket is good, man. It's really looking good. OpTic versus Subliners. That is not going to be an easy series for OpTic. Every series they play is probably going to get harder and harder. The way New York are playing, especially in Columbus, they seem to be very good indeed. So, you know, we know how highly OpTic rate the Kismet Hydra duo and all that as well. So, and the Skies generally plays very well against OpTic, I think, historically. So that's an interesting series. That's on Saturday, though, of course, as is Thieves FaZe, as we discussed. Thieves FaZe, absolute bagger. Can't wait for that one. And then we've got the losers bracket games today. So the way this bracket works out is the winner of Boston Ultra plays the winner of Legion Mutineers. That, I believe, game will be going on tomorrow. And the final game of today, I think, is on the other side of the bracket, Rokkr, Raven, Surge, or Guerrillas. So, because I think before what would happen is it was the first 2 games, the winner of these 2 would play last, which meant that the first team would play first and last, which wasn't ideal. So now they're doing it that the top of the bracket goes first, Vegas Mutineers, and then the same part of the bracket goes last, Boston Ultra, and then the winner of these 2 middle series plays final game. That's what I believe is going on. But anyway, Vegas Mutineers, man, this is a big series for Legion. They need to win this one. They've got to get at least 10 points on the board here this major. Mutineers aren't as good, I don't think, with Vickle as they were with Havoc. Vegas should win, but I don't think this is going to be easy for them. I think it's going to be a game 5. Legion, Florida sometimes needs to put up a good fight against Vegas, and certainly in winners round 1 or losers round 1 as they are in now. So I'm going to take Vegas in 5, but man, they need to impress me this series. Then Surge, Guerrillas, I can't really see past Surge in this one. Their respawn is too good. Guerrillas might be able to pull a map off here. I'm going to say 3-1 Surge. Then Rokkr, Ravens. This, honestly, might be the series I'm most looking forward to, just from a pure comedy perspective, right? Just to see what type of COD gets played. But, man, Rokkr, they've got to get 10 points. And they'll also have seen at this point what's happened with Vegas. Have Vegas won? Have Vegas lost? And then you play Ravens with a chance to do so. I know that a lot of people here are picking London, and I am very tempted to pick London as well. I actually might, to be honest. I feel like they could do it here. Finally, London. Surely this is their chance to not get top 12 at a major. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Ravens here. And then Toronto, Boston. Really interesting series. I'm going to take Surge to win the last series pretty much no matter what here. But yeah, Toronto, I think I've got to slightly favour them. Just in terms of fundamentals and here on LAN. And, you know, we asked all those questions about FaZe. We saw what they did. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto put off something kind of similar. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Boy, right there, Gingivitis, he has a pizza shop in Maine.
Was Z Boatsy with a 20 bomb.
Boat State, Maine.
Where's that?
Northeast.
EU?
EU?
Nah, I don't know what Maine's at.
Maine?
Here?
Maine, the state. M-A-I-N-E.
It's a state?
Dude, you're
I've never heard of Maine.